Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Hummel. I'm one of the AP Stats teachers here at Legacy High School. We're going through this little slideshow here, so take some close notes. So, AP Statistics, what is it? AP Statistics is the study of data, basically. So, here's an example or a funny comic about that. Some say that we use statistics to prove or disprove stuff. That's not exactly true, but what we actually do in AP statistics is we first learn how to explore data that we've collected. Then we learn correct collecting methods for collecting data. And then we study probability so that we can perform inferences. You might be wondering, so what college majors and what fields of study out there might use statistics? Well, it turns out you can apply statistics to any field of study that exists. So really the question is, who should take statistics? Should I take AP statistics? And honestly, the question, who should take AP statistics, is easily answered. Everybody should. The class is great. It teaches you how to think logically and how to really interpret data that we often see in the media that might be misrepresented. If you are stats trained, you can look at the data a little bit better. But specifically, this class really should be for seniors. However, we have several non-seniors that take the class every year, so it's not a seniors only class. But if you are not going to be a senior, you should be taking AP Stats concurrently with whatever your next math class is, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. And then otherwise, just if you're a good student, if you work hard, then the class is for you. Some things, though, this doesn't feel like a math class often, and so you will have to do a lot of reading and writing, so keep that in mind as well. Who should not take AP Stats is students who think, oh, I'm going to take stats next year and then AP Calculus the year after. You don't want to break that track, because AP Pre-Calculus is the prep for AP Calculus. And if you take a year off of that prep course, then AP Calculus is so much harder. So stay on the track, grind through AP Calculus, then give AP Stats a shot, or do both simultaneously. Also, you should not take AP Stats if you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is easier than AP Calculus. Although some students will say that, others say the opposite. So if you think it's going to be easy, it might not. So then if I'm going to be a senior, if I'm not going to be a senior, why should I take AP Calculus or AP Pre-Calculus or Math 3 or whatever's next in that path? There's several reasons why, but here's some of them. One is, as a junior, you take the SAT. And some colleges are going away from it, but a lot are bringing it back and still looking at the SAT and how you perform on that standardized test. And the best prep for the SAT is Math 3, AP Pre-Calc, and AP Calculus. And we have data that backs this up. AP Stats is not a good prep for the SAT, and juniors who in AP Stats typically perform significantly lower than their peers in AP Pre-Calculus and AP Calculus. Also, if you are going to take AP Calculus eventually at some point, like I mentioned before, you do not want to take a year off of that path. So stay on that path, because each course builds up and prepares you for the next level. If you take a year off, you probably should review a little bit before you try to jump back onto that track. But also go ahead and just check with your colleges, see what math they require, and that might help guide you as well. A lot of colleges do require statistics, so it's something worth looking into. Who does well in AP Stats? These types of students. Like I said, you have to work hard. You got to do homework. You have to be good math students. It is an AP course. But you also have to be a logical thinker and be willing to write. It is not the easy math class. Here are some example questions that you might be asked to answer. This is pulled off of an AP test, and you could see this is the answer. So you will be trained in how to answer a question like this, but you could see everything that is on here is probably required to get full credit. And so there's a lot more writing and some new symbols that maybe you're not familiar with in order to get full credit. Here's another one. So I don't see hardly any math in here at all. Here's 2 divided by 5, 0.4 cubed, but it's a lot more interpreting and writing, and you have to be able to write the correct thing, which of course we train you on how to do. But here's another one. This is one question, and there's all this criteria to get full credit. And there's really no math. Right here is kind of the mathy thing, but the rest is all just symbols and words. But it's still, this is a great problem right here, and it tells us a lot. Prerequisites for the course include Math 3, and that's it. However, like I said, if you don't want to break the track to AP Calculus, so take the next level until you are going to be a senior, or do both math classes at the same time. The question I really have for you, though, is why would you take AP Stats? Is it to improve your GPA, or is it to learn statistics? Learning statistics will happen, so keep that in mind. Is there some homework? Not usually. Every year, we have a discussion about it. But when I talked to some of my AP Stats students and asked them, what advice would you give to students that are thinking about getting an AP Stats? And here's some of the stuff that they said. So feel free to pause the video and look through some of that stuff there. But you'll see, don't take AP Stats because it's easy. It's not. It's more of an English class, a lot more reading and writing, thinking. Here's some more stuff. You have homework every night and it needs to be done. I talked to some students today actually and said, what advice would you give? And they said, do the homework. You have to do the homework. Don't skip any of the homeworks. So it's a math class. And that's about it. AP Stats is a great class. You should take it. I hope you do at some point in your career at Legacy High School. If you have any other questions, come see me. I am Mr. Hummel and Mr. Rosen. Thank you. Have a good day.